Hello everybody, good morning. Daniel, the gripping story of Daniel and his three mates, Shadrach, Meshach and Abednego, that we heard those stories when we were young, and they've stayed with us. Now, what about the story of Daniel in the lion's den? That's probably the story we think about instinctively when we hear the name Daniel. And it all had to do with jealousy, professional jealousy, and the excellence of these guys' lives. Daniel was an excellent man. He was head and shoulders above his contemporaries. And the people of Babylon, the officialdom of Babylon, did not enjoy that one iota. And they have to make a plan. How can we take this guy Daniel out? I mean, how can we eliminate this guy? Because they just were stewing in their jealousy. And they knew they couldn't find anything compromising because he was a man, as the Bible tells us, without corruption. No corruption. I mean, read this one. They could find no corruption in him because he was trustworthy and neither corrupt nor negligent. Isn't that a great description? So they scratch their head and say, well, how can we get rid of Daniel? And they said, why don't we catch him out on his religion? Now, Daniel had a practice, and I love this practice, every day of his life. 3 times a day, he would kneel down at his window, which faced towards Jerusalem, and he would pray. They said, his detractors, we can nail him on that one. So they go to King Darius. So Nebuchadnezzar is gone, Belteshazzar is gone, that's the finger on the wall kind of guy. And now Darius, or Darius, and they say to Darius, can we make a rule, an order? Will you issue or make a law that forbids anybody from praying to their God apart from you? In other words, people must pray to you. Now, these guys thought of themselves as kind of godlike. Darius, who actually was a great friend of Daniel, kind of forgets for a moment about Daniel, and he, having a big ego, says, yeah, no, that's cool. And so he signs a law making it illegal for anybody to pray to any other god save himself. So what does Daniel do? He's a bit like Shadrach, Meshach and Abednego, who are told to bow down to this huge statue of Nebuchadnezzar. He ignores it, just as he's done every day of his life since leaving Jerusalem as a young guy. He gets down on his knees, not once, not twice, but 3 times. Say his detractors, we've got him. So they go to Darius and they say, O king, we have a problem here. You signed that law, and it's the law of the Medes and the Persians. You know that expression? The law of the Medes and the Persians that changeth not. That's where it comes from, that expression. And now we have Daniel, who has defied the law. He must suffer the consequences. Darius realizes that he's been trapped because he never intended that his friend Daniel should be so treated. But the law was the law, and Darius takes Daniel and he's thrown into the lion's den. That night he can't sleep. He's absolutely consumed by guilt and worry, and at the crack of dawn the next morning he's along there to look to see what is left of his friend Daniel. And then Daniel, who has been miraculously preserved through the night, God caused the mouths of the lions to be closed. They lost their appetites. And Daniel says to Darius, who's up there looking to see how he is, says, God has done just that. Gosh, that's a fantastic story. It requires guts. It requires huge courage to stand up for what is right in this day and age. Do you remember that chorus you used to sing as a kid? I've often hummed it to myself. Dare to be a Daniel, dare to stand alone, dare to have a purpose true, and dare to make it known. Yeah, I like that. Please God, raise up more Daniel-like people. May you be a Daniel in your walk today, and not just today. May it be true that you are a man, a woman, a Christian man and woman who follows Christ and are prepared to take the consequences of that obedience. God be with you.